So without taking a break, we would ask WA01, the next team, to deliver their presentation. They are Dr. B.N. College of Architecture for Women, Karve Nagar, Pune. So the participants are Kamini Katiyar, Mrunmoyi Kumble, Sanjana Lakhani. They are three members, Sanjana Lakhani, Mrunmoyi Kumble, and Kamini Katiyar. So your time starts now. WA01, start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sanjana Lakhani. I'll be representing this group. Today, I am with my team members, Mrunmoyi Kamble and Kamini Katiyar. So without further delay, I would like to get into our presentation. Our hospital design has been based upon the concept of hospital in a box. We are majorly decided that the concept of our hospital to be a dynamic pod design. We are making an ideology of revolutionizing pod design into different uses. So we now represent a pod design which can be dynamic and can be taken from one place to another in form of a medicube as well, and does not need any proper site location as a need. It can be shifted from one place to another, or it can be sent to different locations as medicube centers. So what is the box that we are talking about? This is the box that we are talking about. Where does this come from? This comes from the shipping containers that we have used for our basic module. These are used in water transit for different harbors and dockyards. But what happens to them if they are left after use? They are left for rusting and corrosion and are not properly utilized. And we thought it can provide us a lot of opportunities for design. So what does this hold for us? It holds a proper maintained structural frame, ready-made to use, a space to occupy that can be modified to fit in many functions, and it is sustainable and recyclable resource that we need to convert into a habitable space. So how did we unbox this box? Is by providing dynamic structures to it, dynamic system mechanisms to it, so that it can expand and increase its volume from a 40 feet container to a 24 feet by 40 feet container. It can increase its volume threefold by expansion on both the sides. So working with this shipping container module, we have expanded it into a threefold volume, spread it horizontally, mounted it vertically to give us a proper built-up structure. So what happens inside this box is, when it is in transit, in a closed condition, it houses all the beds and all the equipments required, along with some sample space for furniture to store for different functions that may supplement this pod. This is the situation in which it can be transported from one place to another without taking all of the furniture in a different setup. When it is in open condition, all the beds can be taken to their designated places with a nursing station created in the center, which is accessible to all the beds in the designated pod. And in this process, we create dirty corridors on the side, and clean corridors get automatically developed into space formations in the inside of the pod. So this above graphic represents the open and closed conditions of the pod. So what is the basic idea of how we are assembling it on site is something like this. We bring it up on the side on trucks, we put them on the side, install them with twist locks, and then we expand them. We spread them on the side in a horizontal manner. Then we lay layers on top of it, and layer by layer, our build-up can be constructed. It can be different forms of varying designs. It does not have to be a single form. It can be started with a single pod as well. It can have modularity in design and shape. So directly talking about the planning on the ground floor level. On the ground floor level, this is the main entrance for the block with the reception in the center, which directly leads to the OPD section and waiting hall. These OPD sections have all the testing areas for the patients. The OPD waiting hall is directly connected to lobbies to all the radiology and path labs for easy access from OPD. This all is conjoined with an admin area in the center that controls all the areas with doctor's lounge and conference area nearby. Another entrance of the hospital block is the emergency entrance, which has the ambulance parking nearby. This will take the patients to an emergency care unit, which has different waiting area altogether, with 17 beds reserved for peak hour situations for emergency area. This has another operation theater area to supplement the emergency in case there has to be emergency operations to be carried out. In the rear of the block, we have the CSSD, Central Sterile Supply Department, which has different distribution points for clean utility to be taken up to the wards and the upper floors, and a dirty receipt in the center. And dirty receipt in the center and laundry areas. At the back of the hospital block, we have provided residential areas with common dining area on the ground floor and residential units on the upper floors. So this basic area statement gives us an area of approximately 9,600 square meters. Talking about the service cores of our design, the red represents the vertical cores for vertical circulation in the hospital, which are 30 meters apart from each other. The blue ones are the hospital toilet ducts. Each pod has a toilet duct in its premises, and the pods have been placed in such a way so that in the center, some of the pods can be put back to back so as to provide combined duct locations in the center. The green ones in the corners represent the clean utility ducts, which have vacuum pneumatic ducts for taking clean utility from the CSSD to the upper floors to the wards. A similar system has been provided at the end of dirty corridors called the dirty utility ducts, which take all the dirty utility and linen to the laundry area for reuse or biomedical waste to be incinerated. So the exploded ISO represents all the service lines that go throughout the site, throughout the building block. This is the typical service core location throughout a single floor plate. In section, if we see, since the height of the shipping container is restricted to 8 feet, we have used a half-height container on top of every hospital floor, habitable floor, which are half-height containers of 4 feet height. We are using these pods as service cells, and these reduce the requirement for putting a false ceiling inside the hospital habitable building. Reducing the size to much lower. All these service areas run parallel to the floors, and all the service lines can combine and then taken down via these vertical shafts towards the plinth, where they can be exited out. In the other section as well, we can see all of these service cells continue throughout the corridors as well and have internal partitions so that the air circulation remains separated for the wards and the corridors. Circulation of the hospital. In yellow, we see the clean. All of these corridors have been developed by removing of furniture inside the pods and are automatically developed due to form evolution. And all of these lead to clean utility ducts at the end, which, as I explained earlier, are connected to the CSSD. The orange ones represent the dirty corridors, which will take to the dirty utility ducts directly down to the incinerator and laundry areas. Going to the third floor, we have separated all the critical areas like ICUs and CCUs on the top floors so that the patients can be segregated vertically depending upon their conditions as per how much health deficiencies they are facing. And these can be separated so that all the patients who can be easily discharged and they do not have a longer waiting time, do not see panic situations creating near ICUs, and they can be separated from the ground floor as well. So what happens inside a single pod? A single pod has two clean corridors all inside it, with a toilet area, a common toilet area for these beds, along with a duct which is formed with the floor plate, and a common nursing station treating to all of these, so that a nursing station are not far off from all of these and are taken care of, and all these nursing stations take care of all the patients in the single pod. Going on the fourth floor, on the uppermost floor, we have pediatric wards and a PICU in the center. All the pediatrics have been shifted on the upper floors so that children can avoid panic situations and they can be treated in a different manner, and they do not see all the older patients getting treated or moved about. We have also provided a library area keeping in mind social distancing and lesser seating spaces inside for the leisure of all the kids there. All of this happens within a 100-day work schedule. We have made this work schedule keeping in mind the following procedures that will come into place. That is the procurement and fabrication of the shipping container, installation of the expansions and scissor mechanism, cutting and making of all the provisions required for window and door fittings, provision for services, internal work including internal planing and wall finishes, door and window final fixing, painting and finishing of interiors and exteriors, and finally transporting it to site for site installation. But the plus point of our project is it does not have to be a complete build-up structure for functioning. Since it's a pod design and each pod can individually function, it can start within a 50-day span after constructing the ground floor. And as and when these pods are constructed, these can be mounted on top of the other floors for completing the built-up structure. And in a similar manner, this whole hospital can be dismantled and taken to different places. And when COVID patients are reduced in number, these can also be sent to remote areas where such facilities are not available, acting as medicubes, providing direct medical facilities without changing much of the structure. So talking about the structure of the pod has basically the structure of a shipping container with metal folded plate walls and fold angle columns which hold these walls in place. These columns are held in place by cast column blocks, corner blocks. These corner blocks have provisions for locking arrangements of twist locks. What we have introduced in this structure is the scissor mechanism, which is captive or is housed inside the fold angle column, which can be opened up for expansion. There are also expanding mechanisms for holding ceiling plates and floor plates. The floor plate of the original shipping container is made of metal plates supported by ISMC channels, ISMC 200 parallel channels in the center, and ISMC 250 channels running all along the length of the block. The shipping container sizes are 40 feet, 20 feet, and 16 feet in length with an 8 feet width. And when we open a box, the width changes to 24 feet. The mechanism fitted is as per standards of shipping containers. The scissor structures that we have installed are made using steel flats of 50 by 10 mm. We have used such a size because of the restriction of the space inside the angle column of the shipping container. Hence, we have got a scissor mechanism. This scissor mechanism that we are representing now is for the service cells, which are smaller in height. Hence, they involve a symmetrical scissor opening mechanism, which opens in a linear fashion, as shown. The wall has been assembled with 5 layers so that it is insulated acoustically as well as it has heat insulation. So this is the assembly of the wall. It has folded plate, then a wooden wooden fixing which holds the acoustical blocks, a cork board, and at last an acoustical gypsum board that also heat insulates the wall from external side conditions and also keeps it acoustically sound. So this is the fixing of the external wall. Talking about the scissor mechanism of the main bigger 8 feet height shipping containers, this has a bigger height and hence we had an opportunity to fit more of the structural portion in the column, and hence scissor mechanism. which can be seen as something like this. It expands in linear fashion, asymmetrically, and then completely fits back containers on side. Twist lock. This twist lock has a cast column corner block using appropriate equipments and can be dismantled on site. As for putting the blocks vertically one top of another, a similar mechanism called a two-sided twist lock has been used so that we avoid chances of you introducing. We can dismantle for the floors one by one. The floors are not dependent in structure on each other. For internal walls, we have used LGSF structure, light gauge steel framing structure, which is something like this. The panels are made up of gypsum boards, all fixed onto a metal frame system, steel frame system, which houses a gypsum. Could you please start the... So on every floor, we have an entrance lobby, which has ambient lighting and has a control kiosk, which has all the patient data on the floor. This control kiosk is only for doctors, which has patient record data, patient intake and outtake data. All of these corridors are directly connected near the control kiosk with ambient lit corridors, and all of these have patient name tags, which represent the date of entry and exit of the patients. As you see, we have also tried to use the doors, which are foldable panels, so that even these doors can be folded up and brought up in a pod and placed directly on the side while fixing. A single pod or a bed area has area for surplus oxygen cylinders, as well as the monitoring facility, auxiliary monitoring facilities. All of these pods are connected with a single corridor on all sides with adjacent nursing stations. These nursing stations are connected to all types of corridors, whether they are clean or dirty corridors. As the moment we see, we are now moving from a clean corridor where all the nurses have collected their dirt received from all the wards, and their linen, etc., have been collected, and they can go to the dirty corridor. From there, the dirty corridor waste is taken to dirty utility. As you now see, we are here in the dirty utility area where there are pneumatic ducts. On the right hand side, these pneumatic ducts can be used for throwing out the biomedical waste to the CSSD area, where they can be treated and then taken to the incinerator. And there is also linen chutes in this area, which will take all the linen waste or the patient clothes which they were wearing to the CSSD and laundry area for further sterilization and reuse. Could we move to the next slide? So this is the basic view of our model. So as we approach to the side, we see the main entrance here. Now we are moving towards the emergency entrance with the ambulance parking nearby. This emergency entrance takes to a lower level emergency care units. At the back of the hospital block, we have residential quarters so that they are not directly in view from the main road, but they are still accessible from inside of the hospital. We see these connecting areas with ramps and all connections with corridors to the residential block. So this is the kind of aerial view that our modular design presents at the moment. Yes. So in the end, we would like to see that for us, a box is a psychological concept. It holds what our heart desires and it shapes what our mind idealizes. So this up to us what we make of it. So we can change the form, play with along with it, but the box will still remain the same. It's like a piece of Lego that we want to create around and create a better building with this block. So thank you.
Thank you, team WS01. Now to the juries, Dr. Deshmukh.
Yeah. So, Mrunmayee and team, we have seen your design in 2 stages. what I liked in your design is the portability, because very thoughtful idea of using shipping containers, which are many times become useless because of their overuse. And then hundreds and thousands of containers are lying on a stockpile in somewhere. So you have actually done the right use of such containers and very thoughtfully connected them with each other. But what I don't understand here is that the containers, like in ship they can be put over each other. But when you want to create a building, the containers cannot be simply put on each other. They need to be properly connected so that it becomes one building.
Yes, sir.
So I
Yes,
think if
sir.
you can throw some light on that, it will be nice.
So we have a structural detail of it. Can you go to the
How
slide,
two
please?
containers are connected with each
The
other
next.
properly.
Bring me the next one. Brunmay, can I have the screen sharing rights, please?
Yeah, that is expansion, yes.
Brunmay, can I screen share, please?
Just 2 minutes.
Can you explain in a different way because it is not functioning?
Can you play this slide?
Yes.
Move.
Yeah, that is expansion, sideways expansion of the container to
Yes,
become
Paul.
more spacious. But what about
so-
one container or other? How it is connected?
Yes. So as you see on the screen now, we have found out this system which is called a twist lock mechanism. Twist locks are kind of locks which are specially designed for containers only. One-sided twist locks are for plugging into a foundation or directly on ground. Two-sided twist locks are for plugging these on top of each other. These have a lever which can be closed up and down so that the connection can be loosened up and dismantled on site. And this reduces the need for creating a direct column through and through. Like we use in RCC, we don't have to put a continuous column, but these can be stacked upon each other using these twist locks.
Yeah, so the idea is quite good because you've directly taken it from the containers which can be arranged on a ship. But here it is a building and you are going to go for a couple of stories, not just one container over the above, over the other container like in a ship. Here you're going to stockpile so many containers on each other. So whether the same idea will be all right here, or you want to design it in a different manner?
So we did a bit of research upon these twist locks. They
Okay.
say, they have been proved to be working up to a height of 6 containers, and hence to be on the safer side, since we are using service cells as well for half-height containers, we have restricted our height to only 4 containers on top of each other, only 4 floors with service cells.
All right.
Hence, we believe this system should function for the building height that we have taken.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Bhattacharya.
Again, and they have come up with a very novel idea. I was mentally thinking that these are bricks and now we are stacking up bricks upon bricks, and what is the motor, and the motor is the lock.
Yes, sir.
So on a novelty factor, this is a very new thinking, and you are using something which is already readily available in the market. Hence, your time factor will be very nicely again. So on those points, you are very nicely gaining. I do not know how much, because it would be having a prefix dimensions, and you have to play with the prefix dimensions. So you have to all plan and fit in everything with the things you have, or you then
Yes.
or you have to make a customized containers. But your plan is not to go in for any customized thing. So that is the only catch. On S point, I would say it was not. I would say very different or very much a link, but from novelty and the first space with which it can be done, and if the serviceability and functionality can be maintained, the idea is absolutely novel. So that appealed to me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So shall I go to the next jury?
Please.
Dr. Arup Sharkar, please.
The idea is very novel, but some more exploration could have been done. Like when we are stacking one container above the other, how the services are reaching in. So are there smaller areas or ducting in between the containers or in the side of the containers? So anyway, the idea is good. Another little bit doubt about this is that when we are stripping the walls of the containers, because sometimes it may be necessary, then how the shear stress can be taken by the containers, whether the sideways sways are there in the structural grid. If we consider the structural grid in the corners of the containers, so how cross bracing will be addressed. So anyway, student level thinking is very nice, very innovative, and futuristic too. Best wishes.
I would like to add on to your question. We have tried, we not have to strip off all these walls. So we have tried to use all of these walls, but we have just moved them apart from the center so that they remain there, but they are not taken completely apart from the building. With our expansion scissor system, what we have done is we have housed our scissor mechanism inside the present fold angle column, so that we do not have to even remove the column. We have to make a window in the column while welding it or fabricating it, put our scissor mechanism, and then we'll be done for. So we are not majorly changing the structure of the whole thing.
Mr. Moore.
Okay, sir. Now, Ma'am Dasgupta.
Yes. Sanjana, Kamini and team, a very novel idea, as I agree with all other members. So I don't have anything much to say, but the thing is, it's been in use. In Bangalore only, it's been in use. These shipping containers are being used as, sets for couples, and those things are being sold, and they're being in use very, widely, I shouldn't say, but it's been in use. But creating a hospital out of, as Dr. Sharkar also said, like creating a hospital with this modular ship containers will be very, very difficult. In the sense, difficult meaning it is possible. I'm not saying not, but I'm saying very difficult. All the functions have to be in place. The services have to be, and there are certain changes also where you won't be able to change. You have to consider those things also. But it's definitely a very good idea of using the, recycling, reusing those shipping containers and making this hospital. I mean, those, they have got certain sizes. 8 feet. Containers are 8 feet normally, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not more
Yes.
than that. So you
No.
have said like 4 feet above those, and then you are making those service corridors. So
Yes.
how, I mean, those service corridors, those will be ventilating, like you should be thinking of, making those mechanical ventilation into the middle of those boxes, no? That's what you thought of? Did you think about that?
Yeah, what we have done is we have provided service cells which are half height containers on top of every floor, and those have internal divisions which control all the mechanical airflow. So yeah, this
Yeah,
one.
so
Can you play the slide?
yeah, understood. So basically you are taking, suppose on one part has to be made AC. So that from that service corridors, the ducts will come because it's only 8 feet high. Height is very less, isn't it? So that thing
Yes.
has to be addressed. How you can increase the height, because the main few these restrictions are there for shipping containers. You can use in
Yes.
small
Yes.
units in hospitals. You have to think also of some other innovative ideas how to increase the height and how to ventilate inside, and functionality has to be absolutely dot,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
that's a very novel idea, definitely novel. Great presentation that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, jury members. And thanks to all the teams. We have completed the 16 teams presentation.